thanks for the time given to me. So, today I want to tell you about Pancasila education. But the first, we are give thanks to God about His protection for all of us. Okay, now I want to tell you about the material of Pancasila education, especially about the meaning of the philosophy of Pancasila. So that we know that philosophy is a science. Means that a set of knowledge about a particular object compiled by human systematically, by taking responsibility for the objects of studying and showing the course of the disserters. About the Pancasila, about the philosophy, we can understand and we see that Pancasila is talking about our life, the views of life, our attitude in the world. We can see the fact in the world. Okay, and the second, I want to tell you about the scope of knowledge of philosophy. One of them, the first, philosophy as a wisdom. When we are talking about wisdom, so we are talking about the goodness. This is someone's our attitude. So, and then add everything. So we can talking about the wisdom is rational in everything in our life in the world. So we can see the fact. And I want to tell you in Indonesian. So berbicara tentang kebijaksanaan dalam ilmu filsafat. Jadi berbicara tentang kebijaksanaan, tentang kepribadian kita, tentang segala sesuatu yang bersifat rasional. Okay, and the second, philosophy as an attitude and the views of life. So this is the second point, as the views of life and humans dealing with a problem that is solved by an attitude and the views of life. So manusia mampu menyelesaikan sebuah masalah hanya dengan menggunakan poin pandangan hidup, memandang kepribadian seseorang atau kepribadian pribadi dengan pandangan yang bersifat positif. The views of life is positive, and memandang sikap kepribadian yang bersifat rasional, bersifat.
Dan di sini saya akan menjelaskan dua materi, yaitu philosophy study object dan the characteristic of thinking philosophically. Yang pertama saya akan menjelaskan tentang philosophy study object. Philosophy study object itu mempunyai dua objek, yaitu objek material filosofi dan the object form of philosophy. Yang pertama, objek material filosofi. Objek material filosofi is everything but concrete and abstract material. Dan yang kedua, the object form of philosophy is the way of thinking at the researcher towards material object. Dan materi yang kedua itu tentang the characteristic of thinking philosophically. The characteristic of thinking philosophically itu mempunyai dua karakteristik, yaitu radical and free. Ciri-ciri berpikir radikal itu seperti show the basic principle of exciting philosophy and try to find a more radical alternative. For explain, you can change basic assumption about reality through all moral force. And bolding theory that is not bought by views that have been widely accepted. For explain, you could try to build a theory of reality that is independent of traditional views of objective and subjective. Dan yang kedua tentang bebas atau free. Ciri-ciri berpikir bebas atau free itu seperti first of all, don't limit yourself to one point of view or philosophy school. Please be patient to read and understand different philosophical viewpoints from both esteem and wisdom philosophy, and remove all coolness and requirements about what is considered right or wrong in the philosophy. Think freely and openly and accept that other people's view and opinions can be free different from your own. Thank you.
You must be curious what are the philosophical aspects of Pancasila. Okay, so I will explain it for you guys. Pancasila is a philosophical system fulfills three aspects: ontological, epistemological, and axiological. A. The ontological foundation of Pancasila philosophy. Ontology, according to Aristotle, is the science that investigates the nature of something or about existence and quotes its meaning with metaphysical. Ontological, the investigation of Pancasila as a philosophy is indeed as an attempt to find out the basic nature of the Pancasila prophecy. Pancasila consists of 5 prefaces, where each line is not a principle that stands alone but has an ontological basis. The ontological basis of Pancasila is essentially human, which has an absolute natural, namely monopluralism or monoduality, because there is also referred to as an anthropological basis. The supporting subject of the Pancasila preface is humans. Human has the main support of the Pancasila preface. Ontologically have absolute things, namely consisting of the composition of natural, body and soul, body and spirit. The natural of human natural is an individual beings and social beings as well as personal beings and creatures of God Almighty. B. Epistemological foundation of Pancasila philosophy. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that investigates or origin, conditions, composition, method, and validity of knowledge. Epistemologically, the study of Pancasila as philosophy is indeed an attempt to seek the essence of Pancasila as a system of knowledge. Pancasila, the composition of the unity of the Pancasila preface is hierarchically and pyramidal is natural. See the axiological foundation of Pancasila philosophy. Axiology is a branch of philosophy of science that questions how humans use their knowledge. The purpose of Pancasila as a philosophical system have one basic axiological unit, that is, the values contained in Pancasila are essentially unit. Pancasila axiology implies that we are discussing the philosophy of Pancasila values. In Pancasila philosophy, it is stated that there are 3 levels of values, namely basic values, instrumental values, and practical values. The values in Pancasila include ethical values or moral values, are their basic values or underlying instrumental values, and further underline all activities in life of society, nation, and state. So that is a brief explanation of the philosophical aspect. Then we will discuss the unit of Pancasila preface as a philosophical system introduced. Okay? Next, my friends Anna will explain it to you.
Hello, now I will continue the explain. The unity of the Pancasila precept as a philosophical system. As a system of philosophy, Pancasila has met the requirements of which are follows. As a unified whole means the 5 precepts from the first precept to 5. 5 unity that cannot be separated. Separating one precept means elimination. That the meaning of Pancasila. It is consistent and coherent, meaning that the 5 Pancasila sequences of precept to 1 to 5 are coherent, not contradictory. And essentials values take precedence. There is a relationship between one part and another, meaning that the precept 1 to 5 have a connection and dependency relationships that makes the 5 precepts unanimous and intact. There is cooperation in this case. What is meant is the supporters of Pancasila who are collaborating, namely the Indonesian people themselves. All serve one goal, namely a common goal as stated in the 1945 Constitution, namely common welfare. And the next is the composition of Pancasila unity is organic. The basic philosophy of the Indonesian state consists of 5 precepts, each of which is principle of civilization Pancasila, which is organic in nature, originates from the ontological basis of man as a supporter of the core. The content of Pancasila precept, namely the nature of monopolar humanity.
Do you know already what are the functions of Pancasila philosophy? There must be something you don't know. So, I will explain what are the functions of Pancasila philosophy. The function of Pancasila philosophy is divided into 3, namely, first, providing answer to fundamental questions in the life of the state. The point is that every aspect of social, national, and state life is based on the values of Pancasila. Pancasila values are basic values in the life of society, national, and state. An example is inviting people to be wise, broad-minded about the various problems they face. Second, searching for the truth about the nature of the state, the idea of the state, and the goals of the state. As we know, there are 5 Pancasila principles of our country. That is, one precept is interrelated with the other precept, forming a unified whole. For example, philosophy can be shape a person's life more creatively on the basis of views on life or ideas that arise because of his desires. Third, trying to place and make tools from various sciences related to the life of the state. The meaning is that the development of knowledge is based on the development of Pancasila. For example, philosophy can form a person critical nature in dealing with problem in a more rational, wiser, and not rapid in excessive fanaticism.
Okay, thank you. I will explain about Pancasila as the fundamental basic value of the nation and state of Republics of Indonesia, the philosophy basic. The basic philosophy thought contained in its preface is explained as follows. Pancasila as the psychology of the nation and state of the Republic implies that every aspect of nation and state life must be based on divinity, humanity, unity, democracy, and justice. The four perspectives love in one good. The correct meaning contained in the verse Sila is God, which the basis from divinity. God is creator of entire universe. The Almighty means the only one. There is no partner and cannot be partnered with God. For the nation and state of Indonesia is believed that is true and tested and can be provided by the rules of login. Because of the belief, the Indonesia state is based on belief in the one and only God. The consequence, the emerging later, was the realization of human, especially in nation to basic human rights that every citizen has in the freedom to embrace and religion and practice worship according to their respective faiths and beliefs. This has been guarded in Article 29 of the Constitution. In addition, with the Indonesia state, there must not be an ideology that negates or denies the existence of God. Second, perfect justice and civilized humanity. The main core of the second preface of justice and civilized humanity is human being, which is the basic word for all humanity. According to Omar Muhammad al-Tom al-Saibina, the understanding of humans in noble creature, Moses is creature capable of thinking, and human is a three-dimensional creator. Humanity means the nature and unquiet characteristics of human according their dignity. Fair means reasonable, namely commensurate and balanced between rights and obligation. Decisions and actions are taken based on objectivity, not based on feelings and emotion, subjects alone. Civilized in an attitude of life based on the values of noble deeds and the science. This second preface has in meaning of awareness of attitude and action based on the content of the human mind in relation to norms and the science in general, both towards oneself and another human beings. The three prefaces Indonesia unity. Unit come from the word no fragmented. Unit implies the unification of various diverse factors which form a whole within the dynamics of Indonesia. Indonesia is the unit of the Indonesia territory, nation, and state. The unit of Indonesia includes this unit is the sense of ideology, politics, social, and culture, as well as security. This is accordance with the country of the reference to the 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia, which reads, "The instead of that to form an Indonesian state government that projects the entire Indonesian nation and all of Indonesia's lucid and to promote public welfare, educate the nation life, and participate in to carry out war order based of freedom, eternal peace, and social justice." The Indonesia nation independent was different in a constitution of the Republic Indonesia. The 40 prophets democracy led by wisdom in deliberated and representative. Population comes from the war people, which is a group of people who live in certain theory of the country without differentiating their ties and professions. The fourth perfect and rich democracy, which is led by vision, is deliberations and reception. In that Indonesia addressed to democracy, which some means the use of reason or sound mean by always considering the unity and integrity of the nation, the interests of the people, and carried out consequently, honesty and responsibility, and inaugurate in God fault, in good faith, in confidence with one conscience. The 15 perfect social justice for all Indonesian people. Social justice means justice applies in social in all area of life, both material and spiritual. All Indonesian people mean for every day who becomes Indonesian people. This understanding is not the same as the nation of socialism for communism, because social justice, the fifth perfect, implies the importance of the relationship between humans and individuals and humans as part of society. It should not happen only connect with society, nor should there be
I know is not enough.